Hello there! Today I would like to show you something different, though still related to sword collecting. Namely this custom sword display made by Jeff Hancock. I commissioned this display board from Jeff back in September. The production time took roughly a month and it took a week or so to ship. It arrived in good condition, packaging was good. So my sword collection has been ever expanding and they've been taking up my space to display. And I very much like the idea of having a central showcase piece to rotate some of my favorite swords. As you can see here, some of you might recognize the Valiant Armory, Order of the North, and this new piece here from Angstrom, French medieval falchion. One of the liveliest sword I have ever handled, the Albion Regent, of course, and this LK Chen Roaring Dragon Warring State Period long sword. I might switch this out with the Albion Prince I just got from Christian Short. Very nice piece indeed. The most prominent feature of this custom mounting board is obviously the central coat of arm or sigil. It was created by my wife for our video game project, as you can see here. Fortune favors the bold. Is a very faithful recreation by Jeff. I'm very happy about it. It retains most of the features. There's a comparison here. And it features some antique brass fittings on the board. Clear contrast with the wood, which I enjoy. The mounting hooks are nicely done. Has the same finish as the fittings. Doesn't feel intrusive at all, and it doesn't block the view of the sword. And these leather strips that wrap around the hooks is a very important feature of this sword display, as it protects the sword blade if you want to mount them without the scabbards, or if you have a scabbard and this has lacquer painted on or leather wrapping, for a prolonged period of time, the sword's weight can kind of make a dent on the leather or the lacquer, or you don't want them scratched. That's very important. And these leather strips are tied very tightly onto the hooks. And I check out the blades after I mount them on the hooks. There's no gunks or glue seeping onto the blade, which is nice. And you see here, the hooks are evenly spaced out. Even though I would love them to, space further up and down, leave the space open to display the coat of arm, but it's alright for now. They're mounted onto the wall with these 6 chains, very secure. And I use 4 75-pound anchor onto the drywall. Took quite a bit of effort to find the studs behind it, even though it's pretty close to the ceiling, and I still encountered one stud. Couldn't entirely get anchored into the wall, but it seems secure so far. The board weighs 24 pounds, so that's something to keep in mind. And plus the swords, right now probably is around 40 pounds or so. So with anchors, they should stay on pretty securely onto the drywall. If you order one of these, you can definitely order different size, different specifications, and Jeff does a variety of work. Others have hooks installed onto a series of planks, so it definitely has less weight than this one. And if you have the space, you could leave the board on a table or a desk, so that's even more secure. And these fittings, add some detail to them. Looks nice. Obviously, you can specify the styles you want if you do decide to order one from Jeff.
The communication is good. You get to see the progress updated in real time.
One issue I have with the board so far is the off-gassing. The off-gassing is so bad, and when it first took out of the box, it just so noticeable. It smelled like a lab of a bunch of preserved animal specimens. And they left it out on my patio for 2 months to off-gas. Now it's getting better, but still, after I mount it onto the wall behind my desk, when I sit here, within a meter or so, it still has this very prominent, very unpleasant smell. So this is mostly from the plywood, I suspect, because I discussed with Jeff earlier. He implied he would use birch plywood, which turned out to be a mistake. So if you order one, make sure to ask him to use hardwood instead. And maybe use some eco-friendly paints or stain. Even though if you use hardwood, I don't know whether you need stain at all, especially if you don't have these constant patterns on the wood. So the off-gassing is pretty bad, very distracting smell. But if I open up the window to improve the ventilation, it's getting better, dropping down to an acceptable level, as you can see here. Still not great. There is indeed some concentration of formaldehyde as well as other volatile organic compound. So I also ordered air purifier to get rid of that. So yeah, with the 4 tier of displays, you can rotate your favorite swords onto the board once in a while as your centerpiece of collection. Very nicely done overall, and it goes well with my setting in the office. A shelf next to it. So I would highly recommend Jeff Hancock's work. He lives in Alberta. If you live in Canada, definitely give him a shot. If you live in the US, the shipping could take longer, maybe cost a little bit more, but for the quality of his work, it's definitely worth it. You're in the Facebook group for Sword Buyer's Guide. You probably know him already, and he is an avid sword collector himself, which helps if you are to commission a sword display. I contacted some local craftsmen earlier about the woodworking, see whether I can get a custom mount from them, and they just don't understand sword that much. So make sure to order a display board from someone who is also a collector who understands swords. Okay? So cheers and have a nice day.